Winning an Oscar for your very first film is a remarkable achievement, and it's only happened 16 times thus far. Now, if you're a male actor, the odds are against you, as there are only 3 winners of Best Supporting Actor and none in Lead Actor thus far. Lead Actress boasts 4 winners for their very first films, with Best Supporting Actress out in front with 9. I'm Michael, aka Oscar Man, and I want to review some of those supporting actors' performances, my favorite category, by the way, and I'm also going to cheat a little and talk about a few more who won for their second film. I'll start with the most recent example of an actress becoming an Oscar winner for her feature film debut.
I stink so much I make myself gag. 500 pounds of cotton, day in, day out, more than any man here. And for that I will be clean. That's all I ask. This here, what I went to Shaw's for.
A graduate of the Yale School of Drama, Lupita Nyong'o won the Oscar for 2012's Best Picture winner, 12 Years a Slave. Nyong'o's portrayal of Patsy, a Louisiana slave brutalized by her owner, was powerful stuff for a first film.
All I ask, end my life, take my body to the margin of the swamp, take me by the throat, hold me low in the water until I still and without life. Bury me in a lonely place of dying.
I won't do no such thing. The gory detail with which you speak.
I thought on it long and hard.
Lupita Nyong'o didn't even have an agent when she auditioned for the role of Patsy. Before she began shooting the brutal scenes with co-star Michael Fassbender, the actress stated that the two created a ritual wherein they would behave in the opposite manner of their characters. That is, they would play nice, grasping one another's hands, stating, quote, "We as actors needed each other in order to be able to go the distance," unquote. I found that interesting because, for example, Meryl Streep purposely did not interact with Anne Hathaway off camera during the making of The Devil Wears Prada in order to maintain an unfriendly distance between them when cameras were rolling. Actors use different methods to create the right atmosphere for their characters. Following her Oscar win, Lupita Nyong'o appeared in 3 Star Wars films and 2 editions of the Black Panther series, as well as the popular Us. Nyong'o was also Tony nominated for her first play. So I think it's safe to say that the lady makes a great first impression. Already honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Lupita Nyong'o's numerous achievements as an actress, author, model, and activist make her one to continue watching to see what she'll do next.
One day when my mother and father were singing together in the forest, a great storm blew up out of nowhere, but so passionate was their singing that they did not notice, nor did they stop as the rain began to fall. And when their voices rose for the final bars of the duet, a great bolt of lightning came out of the sky and struck my father so that he lit up like a torch.
At the age of 11, Anna Paquin became the second youngest Oscar winner in history when she won for 1993's The Piano.
Where is she? Shh! Quiet down! Quiet down! Where is she?
He jumped it up!
Born in Winnipeg and raised in Wellington, New Zealand, Anna Paquin's prior acting career was playing a skunk in a school play, before she attended an audition for The Piano and was cast, beating out 5,000 other hopefuls for the role of Flora. What also helped get her the role was her height. At 5'2", Holly Hunter, who was cast in the film first, needed an actress who was small enough to be believable as her daughter. Fun fact, Anna Paquin didn't watch The Piano until she was much older because of the film's inclusion of nudity and adult themes. A surprise winner at the time of the Oscars, mainly because Holly Hunter received the lion's share of attention, Anna Paquin's parents initially had no plans to further pursue her acting career. The young actress, however, received film offers following her Oscar win, but instead only appeared in a few television commercials. A few years later, Paquin returned to the screen in Jane Eyre, following up with roles in Amistad, Almost Famous, and 3 films in the X-Men series. Anna Paquin's performance in the television series True Blood brought her more acclaim. But for me, I think her greatest accomplishment has been her successful transition from child to adult actor, something that doesn't often happen. The fact that Anna Paquin continues to work 30 years after her incredible acting debut is something of which to be proud.
When I was teaching in Kansas, we
You
go up
won't
to people
believe it, but we had to make our way all by ourselves. Isn't that right, dear?
Why,
we
yes.
had to make our own way. I would have to go up to the wives in the library or the supermarket and say hello. I am new here. You must be Mrs. So-and-so, Dr. So-and-so's wife. It really wasn't very nice at all.
Sandy Dennis had only appeared in Splendor in the Grass prior to her Oscar-winning role in 1966's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. As Honey, the fragile wife who becomes part of the volcanic foursome, Dennis won on her first and only Oscar nomination.
Said Blondie.
And so they were married.
And so they were married.
And then?
And then?
What? And then what?
And then the puff went away again like magic. Poof.
Puff went away.
Poof.
Honey, I didn't mean to. Honestly, I didn't mean to.
You told them. You told them.
So, honey,
You couldn't have told them, please. No, you couldn't have told them.
Sandy Dennis began her career on the television soap opera The Guiding Light, moving on to Broadway in The Dark at the Top of the Stairs, 1,000 Clowns, and Any Wednesday, winning Tony Awards for the latter two plays. Two-time Oscar nominee Melinda Dillon originated the role of Honey in the Broadway production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but Sandy Dennis's successful screen test landed her the part in the film. Stay tuned until the end of the video to see a small segment of that audition. Though Dennis was not present to accept her Oscar, she continued to work in films including Up the Down Staircase, The Fox, and The Out-of-Towners. She also concentrated on her stage career and made some occasional forays into television series, including The Love Boat. Who didn't? Sandy Dennis was never part of the Hollywood scene, and she shunned appearances at award ceremonies and movie premieres, preferring to live a quiet life with her 20 cats and occasional partner, one of whom was Oscar nominee Eric Roberts. Sandy Dennis died from ovarian cancer in 1992 at the age of 54.
All is clouded by desire, Arjuna, as a fire by smoke, as a mirror by dust. Through these, it blinds the soul.
Pretty good stuff.
This is the Princess Srikandi, noble and proud, but headstrong. Arjuna will fall in love with her.
1982's The Year of Living Dangerously may have had marquee names Mel Gibson and Sigourney Weaver as its stars, but it was Linda Hunt as Billy Kwan who won an Oscar for the film's only nomination.
10. What then must we do? Tolstoy asked the same question. He wrote a book with that title. He got so upset about the poverty in Moscow that he went one night into the poorest section and just gave away all his money. You could do that now. $5 American would be a fortune to one of these people.
Wouldn't do any good. Just be a drop in the ocean.
The Year of Living Dangerously was Linda Hunt's second film. Her first was 1980's Popeye as Mrs. Oxheart. Her journey to landing her Oscar-winning role was an interesting one. Billy Kwan was originally to be played by dancer David Atkins. However, director Peter Weir felt Atkins and Gibson were not gelling in their scenes together, so he wanted to hire either Bob Balaban or Wallace Shawn. That is, until Weir saw a photo of Linda Hunt and cast her after she auditioned wearing a hairpiece and fake mustache. Though director Weir stated he never thought of casting a woman in the role, he was ultimately convinced that Hunt was perfect. And I agree. It is doubtful that anyone who saw the film wasn't stunned to see Linda Hunt's name in the role of Billy Kwan at the end credits. The diminutive actress, who stands 4'9" tall, became the first actor to win an Oscar portraying a character of the opposite sex. And if you haven't seen the film, this was no Victor Victoria. I was skeptical that Linda Hunt's career might be short-lived due to her perceived limitations as to the roles she could play. But that didn't stop her from film appearances in She-Devil, Kindergarten Cop, and voice work in various video games. Linda Hunt was last seen in the television series NCIS Los Angeles. Here are some additional actresses who were awarded an Oscar for their feature film debut, all of whom have something in common, according to many of you.
Everybody loved Joey. The little kids to the old rummies. Did you know him very well?
Well, you know, he got around.
It came down to Eva Marie Saint and Elizabeth Montgomery to play Edie in 1954's On the Waterfront. Director Elia Kazan thought Montgomery came off as too well-bred for the role of the working-class girlfriend of Marlon Brando's character. And so Saint, with only television credits to her name, was cast. As I speak, Eva Marie Saint is the oldest living Oscar-winning actor. She is 101 years old.
We finally get the chance to have our own act, and Dina's doing lead. She can't sing like I can.
She's right, Curtis. I can't. I don't want to.
Now, y'all gonna do what I tell you to do. This is a new sound with a new look.
New look. Nobody can see her on a record.
The way we're gonna be able to change things is by appealing to kids, and kids today watch television.
So Dina's gonna sing the lead because you like the way she looks.
A total of 783 actresses auditioned for the role of Effie White in 2006's Dreamgirls, based on the smash Broadway musical, loosely based on The Supremes. Known for her untimely dismissal from television's American Idol, Jennifer Hudson came back with a roar, surpassing director Bill Condon's expectations as Effie, winning more than 50 awards, including the Oscar. Hudson later went on to victories at the Emmys, Grammys, and Tonys, becoming the youngest female member to join the EGOT Club. Jennifer Hudson's subsequent films include Sex and the City, Cats, and Respect, in addition to recording 4 albums. She currently is the host of her self-titled television talk show.
I want my $200. I heard you through the door talking to that man. It's my money you got, and I want it.
Now, you just hold on a second.
I want my money. You took my $200.
Will you quiet down? You hear?
I want my $200.
Anna Paquin is runner-up, but Tatum O'Neal still retains the crown as the youngest winner of an Oscar. In 1973's Paper Moon, O'Neal was only 9 years old when she was awarded film's highest honor for her portrayal of Addie, a pint-sized con artist who travels the grifter circuit with Moses, played by O'Neal's real-life father, Ryan. While Tatum O'Neal received widespread acclaim for what was considered an astonishing performance by a newcomer, and a child no less, rumors circulated that she was given line readings from her director, Peter Bogdanovich, whose painstaking efforts in having the actress do repeated takes paid off. And I'm not inferring that Tatum O'Neal has no real talent. She subsequently starred in The Bad News Bears and Little Darlings, and she made appearances on several television shows. But her personal tsaurus, Yiddish for problems, which were detailed in the tabloid press, certainly got in the way of developing her career post-Oscar. In 2020, Tatum O'Neal suffered a massive stroke, from which she is still recovering. So, what do Eva Marie Saint, Jennifer Hudson, and Tatum O'Neal share in common with so many of you? Well, in previous discussions about these winners, members of this channel voiced their opinion that all 3 of these performances were leading roles, relegated to supporting in an attempt to secure them an Oscar. Right or wrong, it worked each time.
He thought the world of Buck, my daddy did. Even though Buck was serving time in jail. He forgave him because he paid his debt to society.
Though her first film was 1963's Ladybug, Ladybug, it was 1967's Bonnie and Clyde, which brought Estelle Parsons an Oscar for her performance as Blanche Barrow.
What did I do wrong? I thought you'd be happy if I got shot! Yeah, it would have saved us all a lot of trouble! trouble. Son, don't let that woman talk to me like that.
You shouldn't have done that, Blanche. It was a dumb thing to do.
Oh, but please, I didn't marry you to see you get shot at.
Bonnie and Clyde was a blockbuster hit, and though it starred Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway, and Gene Hackman, it was Estelle Parsons who became the only member of the cast to win an Oscar. The woman she portrayed, Blanche Barrow, was reportedly mortified when she saw the film and how she was portrayed as a screaming, hysterical member of the infamous gang of bank robbers. Estelle Parsons' next film was Rachel, Rachel, for which she received a second Oscar nomination as Best Supporting Actress. After that, she reunited with Gene Hackman in I Never Sang for My Father and appeared in 10 more films. Nominated for 5 Tony Awards, Estelle Parsons was inducted into the American Theater Hall of Fame for her work in such productions as The Pirates of Penzance and August Osage County. With more than 50 television credits, Parsons is perhaps best known for her role as Roseanne's mother in the popular sitcom. As I speak, Estelle Parsons is still around at 98 years old. Who else made their film debut in Bonnie and Clyde? Oscar-nominated Gene Wilder. Who were some other supporting actress winners who had made their screen debuts in one film prior to the one that won them the Oscar?
Well, it was the way she talked about you and your barber and your shirts and your handkerchiefs. I got all choked up. And she mentioned those chicken and egg salad sandwiches.
You mean to say that she bragged about her damn sandwiches?
She didn't brag. She just told me she made them. It sounded as if they were made with love.
Billed as the Giggly Girl in 1968's The One and Only Genuine Original Family Band, Goldie Hawn came to the public's attention on television's Laugh-In before co-starring in Cactus Flower with Oscar winners Walter Matthau and Ingrid Bergman. She earned a second nomination as lead actress in 1980's Private Benjamin.
I know how comfortable it is to curl up with a nice fat book full of big words and think you're going to solve all the problems of the universe. But you're not, you know. A bit of action is required now and then.
Teresa Wright's first film was 1941's The Little Foxes, for which she was Oscar nominated. The following year, she appeared in Mrs. Miniver, for which she won one of the film's 6 Oscars, including Best Picture. And Wright's good fortune continued, as she was also nominated the same year as lead actress for The Pride of the Yankees. Can you think of anyone else who was Oscar nominated 3 times in 2 years?
Mr. Bonafeather didn't want it known that you were engaged in slave trading. Oh, Anthony, why do you take this attitude? We've always been friends.
On the contrary. You've hated me from the first time I came here. But why? That's what I want to know. And why was Bonafeather so fond of me, to leave me his money?
He was in his dotage.
Gale Sondergaard had a couple of important Oscar firsts. She won the very first Academy Award for Best Actress in a Supporting Role for her very first film, 1936's Anthony Adverse.
There's not a chance. But I will have something for the life I've lived. The disappointment, the years of boredom. And you're the one who will give it to me.
I?
For the price of that picture. For the honor of a grandee of Spain whose pretty wife had a child. Hurts, doesn't it? Makes you cringe.
Detestable creature. What is it you want?
Your name in marriage.
As Faith, the lustful housekeeper who becomes mistress and eventual wife of Marquis Don Louis, played by Claude Rains, Gale Sondergaard's career began in the theater, appearing in such productions as Hamlet, Julius Caesar, and Macbeth. She co-starred in such notable films as The Life of Emile Zola and Anna and the King of Siam, for which she earned her second Supporting Actress nomination. But it was the film role she didn't end up playing that is most interesting, that of the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz. Eventually portrayed brilliantly by Margaret Hamilton as a stereotypical ugly villain, Gale Sondergaard, originally cast, saw things differently, envisioning the character as the image of the evil queen in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Sondergaard wanted to play a glamorous, slinky villain. After submitting to 2 screen tests as both a pretty and ugly witch, the studio decided that the character should go the hag route, and Sondergaard refused.
So the costumes were made, a high pointed hat with sequins and a slinky sequins black gown and green eyes and big lashes and all that stuff for a wicked, glamorous witch. And we had tested the clothes with Judy Garland. We were all there testing because it was ready to go. And Mervyn came to me with a long face and he said, "Oh, Gale, all the producers in the studio say, you can't do that. It's a classic. Children expect an ugly witch, and grown-ups expect an ugly witch. You can't do that." Yeah, and so Mervyn said, "Gale, I don't want you to play an ugly witch." And I said, "Mervyn, I won't play an ugly witch."
Her film career destroyed when she was a victim of blacklisting in the 1950s. Gale Sondergaard went on to do the guest star circuit on various television shows before she died in 1985 at the age of 86. Before I discuss one more actress who won for her first film, but was best known for her off-screen work in one of the most famous movies of all time, I want to briefly say thanks to you for watching this video. I appreciate your suggestions on future topics, as your input always inspires me. If you're not yet a subscriber, please become a member of the channel and join us for weekly videos and fun daily polls where you get to vote like an Academy member. If you will like and share the videos with other Oscar nerds, it would be greatly appreciated.
Nobody in the world but him.
What are you talking about?
You and your high-tone friends. What do they know? What do they know about anything? Why did you have to mix her in?
Crazy Sadie, you're out of your mind.
Am I? Well, why don't you go down and ask her? Or ask him. Ask
Shut up.
Willie. Go ahead, ask
Shut
her.
up.
Ask her. Ow! Oh.
All the King's Men was a Pulitzer Prize-winning novel that was adapted into what became the Best Picture of 1949. In the story of Willie Stark, a ruthless politician modeled after Louisiana Governor Huey Long, Mercedes McCambridge won an Oscar for her performance as Sadie Burke, Willie's secretary and love interest, who shapes his campaign.
Leaves her face hard. She's got poise. Look at the way she holds her head at just the right angle. That takes training. That takes years of training. I see what Willie sees.
Called the world's greatest radio actress by Orson Welles, Mercedes McCambridge portrayed many characters in a variety of broadcasts during the 1940s. At an open call for All the King's Men, McCambridge reportedly became angry after she and other actresses were kept waiting a long time. She stormed out of the office, telling off the producers, who called her back later and eventually cast her in the role because they believed her attitude was perfect for the part. I've done that a few times and no one called me back. Anyway, Mercedes McCambridge won the Oscar and 2 Golden Globes for her film debut, followed up with a second nomination with 1956's Giant. She did battle on screen and off with Joan Crawford in 1954's Johnny Guitar, calling Crawford mean, tipsy, powerful, and rotten. Mercedes McCambridge also appeared in Suddenly Last Summer and A Touch of Evil. But it was her performance in 1973's The Exorcist for which she became known to more contemporary audiences. McCambridge voiced Pazuzu, the demon who possessed Reagan, played by Linda Blair. 2 controversies surrounded McCambridge's work in the iconic film. First, director William Friedkin did not give the actress screen credit because he thought it would deter from Linda Blair's work. Mercedes McCambridge went to arbitration with the Screen Actors Guild and won. This, in turn, initiated the second controversy, when film audiences asked, where was Mercedes McCambridge in the film? This touched off what became the downfall of Linda Blair's Oscar chances, when it was learned that the actress did not perform Pazuzu's shocking, haunting vocals. To create the disturbing character, Mercedes McCambridge swallowed raw eggs, chain-smoked, drank whiskey, and was tied to a chair to effectively make the sounds of struggling against restraints. Should she have received a special Oscar for this? Honored with 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Mercedes McCambridge died in 2004 at the age of 87. Because I previously discussed Jo Van Fleet in East of Eden and Miyoshi Yomiki in Sayonara, I didn't repeat them here. But share your thoughts on all of these actresses who won a Best Supporting Actress Oscar for their first film. Deserved, or did they give better performances for which they should have won? And until we meet again, check out the screen test that got Sandy Dennis the role for which she won the Oscar.
Her father, he is such a wonderful person.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, he is something.
I'd better believe it.
Oh, he's a wonderful person. Why, when you were teaching in Kansas, we had to make our way all by ourselves. Now, nobody introduced us to anybody. I would have to go up to the wives in the library or the supermarket and say, hello, I'm new here.